as a former filmmaker, I was like trying to be director of photography, or well, that usually was my role. So, as a former director of photography, although I have been a filmmaker before, um, and I've made a couple of films, one thing that caught my attention about AI and Google VO3 is the claim that Google VO3 can make cinematic films, and basically that it can um, eventually replace my old job that I kind of gave up on. Um, Now, just in case anyone says something, I've been considering going back to being a director of photography. Why did I say that so weird? A director of photography. And, you know, part of the reason why is because I've been having so much fun with the, what's it called? The DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's this tiny little camera, shoots great stuff that almost looks like probably on the level of like a Sony um, A7S3 almost, maybe if you just look at it first glance, or a FX30 maybe, with a similar sensor size. But the point is, I might get back to it. So what I wanted to talk about today, though, is Google VO3. People are out here making films, apparently. Um, Now, this is very funny to me. This video here was made by AI director Dave Clark, which, if you ask me, that kind of sounds like a scammer. Doesn't like when scammers have fake names? I don't know, it just sounds like a scammer to me a little bit. But I wanted to, as a person who admires art and did directing photography for film, that doesn't make sense to say that. But as a director of photography for film, I want to analyze these shots and see if they're actually compositionally good, artistically, and if they were aesthetic. So let's look at light, let's look at composition, let's look at shadows, let's look at thirds, let's look at all the rules that they have, and let's try to see how it looks. Okay, we're gonna do a deep dive analysis. I'm gonna put this on 4K so I don't miss anything, and let's all look at this together with a artistic eye. All right, so first of all, I'd say this looks pretty good apart from all of the, baloney, like the line on the road is 6 feet long here, but let's watch this first scene. All right, so one thing that I'm actually not sure about is whether or not that text right there was added after the fact on the outputted AI footage, or if that was actually something the AI did. One problem with okay, so if you look at the car, it looks like the AI is trying to generate I think that's Audi, right? All of the rings. So, all right, let's put the weird visuals aside of things that are distorted, which is pretty normal for AI. How's this look compositionally? Um, I'd say pretty good. I mean, looks like a good dynamic range. Wait a minute. Dynamic range wasn't the word I was looking for. Dude, I feel so slow today. All right, wait a minute. Guys, I'm not going to lie, this isn't bad. I feel like it looks pretty cinematic. It looks pretty good. One thing that I wonder is, are the cinematic bars generated as part of the AI's attempt to look cinematic, or are the bars added after the fact That's pretty important because everybody knows that you shouldn't just slap some bars on after the fact to give your film that aspect ratio. You should actually shoot in the correct aspect ratio. The bars are obviously just there because there's no other footage. Um, so if you're taking the AI output and you're just putting bars on it to make it look more cinematic, um, that's actually not doing whatever the camera that the AI is trying to simulate is trying. It's not making it look cinematic. Actually, I'd say that shot looks good. This shot. All right, wait a minute. This shot is ugly. I don't like this. Colors aren't working for me. The shadows don't look real, especially in the background. It just looks weird. Also, the car changed randomly. What is this car? This looks okay. I guess it's the same car, but all of a sudden it looks like a Bugatti Chiron, right? Bugatti. Oh my god, dude. See, I'm telling you, I can't talk today. That was a good angle. I'm not gonna lie.
Target is resting in the.
All right, wait a minute. So this is like pretty much like a 1/3. It's in a third of the frame, and it looks all right.
Target is resting in the study. Finish it.
Understood. Going dark.
All right. Well, so
Target is resting in the study. Finish it.
Understood.
listen, I think actors are definitely going to be the last people to get replaced because AI is not good at making people look realistic or human-like. I mean, this looks terrible. I'm sorry for coughing. This guy, what is he looking at? Right? Like, he should be looking down and, thinking because he's talking through his earpiece. Instead, it looks like he's trying to look to a person that doesn't exist because he's alone in this car.
Good. Going dark.
Wait, what the F?
Understood. Going dark.
Okay, that obviously just didn't even look real. I think some fingers just disappeared. All right, so that was baloney. All right. All right, what the F was that? That looks terrible. Guys, all right, listen. So, first of all, this shot does not make sense, okay? The camera should not be the camera should not have this much of the ground in it. There should be about, a tiny amount of the ground to begin with. Unless you wanted to start from the ground and pan up, then that might make some more sense. But to just to start with that much ground is just not good, not a good look. This is way too short. There's no continuity in this sequence. Like, that was a horrible jump cut. The tree, so this tree in the middle looks like it's in the foreground and the background at the same time. It looks like it's in front of the other tree and also looks like it's behind the other tree. So very weird. And now just generally, what the actual heck is going on with this shot? Because this looks like crap. Why is this guy halfway? Like, so we've got the frame, right? Why is this guy halfway down the frame, and that's where his head is. That's super annoying to look at. His head should be about 2/3 of it standard, or maybe at least closer to the top. Somewhere around 2/3. But your head, and also, where's it going up from? It's going up from like his ribs to his head. That's just a weird shot. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, that's stupid. Um, if there were no bars and there was actually more of an image that's just being blocked out, then that might be one thing. But at that point, why not just move it up a little bit so you get the right composition? I don't know if this was a mistake made by AI director Dave Clark, or if it was made by the other AI director, Google VO3. Again, bro, this just doesn't make sense. And by the way, this is really talented to be able to do this with the AI to get all of these things to look so similar, all these scenes to look so similar. I don't even know how you do this, but this looks goofy, okay? We got him going from walking. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Wait, what? What the heck was it? Walking to running to walking again. What was he running from? Like, what? That you can't just like throw that in there and not explain it or give any context clues. Was there a noise that made him run? I don't know. We just threw them all together in some type of time lapse sequence. Once again, doesn't make sense. I don't know what the actor's doing. All right, no actor would be holding a gun like this, walking, holding the gun up like that. Just looks weird. Yeah, I don't think this is bad compositionally. I'm not gonna lie. And if you're feeling bummed about this, don't be bummed, because the truth is, it's not the only reason the AI is good is because it was trained on people like you and me, and mostly you, because you're probably more talented than me if you're watching this. But it was trained on people who actually know what they're doing to set up a shot, right? If it was trained on, first year film school students, it would be horrible. And it still is pretty bad. It still makes a lot of mistakes. And that just goes to show how good you are, right? But compositionally, I think it looks good. I like the layout of the trees. I like the contrast of the green, the kind of light blue. Reflections don't look completely realistic, but they look like believable. This is annoying though, right here. I don't know if you guys can. Basically, the bottom of the building is straight, and the top of the building is curving. Just looks very weird. But yeah, the point is, like, you need to realize that the only reason the AI is so good is because it was trained on people that knew what they're doing, like legit cinematic stuff, like movies, right? TV shows, stuff that all required a human director of photography, all that required a director, all of it required a camera operator. I mean, I'm surprised with the continuity of this. Okay, so the house is on a hill, trees, all right. Trying to remember that. And then he goes up to, I'm going to say about the left here, around the left here. And it looks like about the same. So that's surprising. I'm definitely surprised the continuity. Yeah, it's on a hill as well. There are trees in about the same place. I'm surprised. All right, so this room in the back makes 0 sense. I don't know what the heck this is meant for. There's not even a chair in there, so I don't know if this is a giant tank for your imaginary friend or what. Um, I'm surprised there are shadows. You know, low light looks okay, but it's interesting how in low light you get low light results. In real life you get low light results, but they look good. And apparently the AI can't train on daylight data or day for night data. Apparently it just uses actual low light data because I see a bunch of noise in here. So what's going on there? I mean, wouldn't the point of AI to be at least I can get a night shot and not have to do day for night, or at least I could just shoot this in the day and then the AI could turn it into night. Like, is there anything that an AI can help us with? I mean, come on. I bet there will be an AI that can do that soon enough, though. All right, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. The jump cuts are just bizarre, man. They just don't flow. They're chopping too much, man. How we get from whatever door that was that looked like it was in the middle of the building to walking down the hallway. Wait a minute. I have to admit, that's some interesting continuity. This is almost like the level of continuity that I have in a dream. Let's try to find where this is. It's not perfectly continuous. Okay, now that little. Watch this, everybody. That looked like shit. Oh man, I didn't mean to swear. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my channel family friendly. All right, that was annoying to watch, dude. What the actual freak just happened there? Wait, how do I know there's a way to. Oh, shit. Shiz. I just swore. All right, guys, watch this. So everything is choppy, but I mean, there's a reason why, The point is that, of course it is. It's AI. I mean, there's only 3 seconds you can generate at once. It's not going to be perfectly seamless, and they could probably fix the seamless issue, if we're being honest. If honestly, this was better than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be easy to pick apart details. I mean, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that we already know about AI, like, oh, that looks weird, it looks like morphed. As for, composition,
I thought it would have happened years.
it looks all right, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Maybe I'm just not a good enough filmmaker, but compositionally and aesthetically, if you're blurring your eyes and if you're purposely not looking at the small details, it's kind of like a movie. I mean, this is a good shot compositionally. I can't lie. I hope I'm wrong. I hope some of you disagree in the comments. I don't know what to say.
Years ago.
I mean, the actors aren't great, that's for sure. Like the way that guy just drank his whiskey was like he was taking a deep breath. It was weird. The fire looks good though, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like a good shot of fire.
Guess you can't run from your demons forever.
I knew your father. He was a good man. We did a lot of business together.
It's kind of good, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't have a father.
All right, what the all right, what? I don't. Listen, the blood splat. I don't want to watch it again because I don't know if that's safe for YouTube. But that didn't look realistic, right? Nah, that looks very weird. That looks like jelly or paint or something. Ugh. See, the way the camera was moving there was pretty good actually. Look, the panning, dude. I like what? I mean, yeah, it ended the shot where it was too much out of frame and in the side of the frame, and it's like, why would you end the shot there? But at the same time, the pan wasn't bad. I don't think. Crap. Oh man, this is bad. Again, like composition looks like a movie. This looks like, I mean, you could say that the color grading here looks like kind of like the movie Limitless. This kind of reminds me of Limitless, actually. That little thing, that was kind of like impressive that the AI actor did that crap.
Hello? Who are you?
All right, that was the worst AI acting I've ever seen. All right, guys, if you're an actor, don't worry. You're definitely not losing your job, okay? This was what
Who
was
are you?
All right, bro. Maybe I should get into acting because I feel like I can do better. Even I could do better than this. Oh, come on. Is he going to shoot?
Are you?
What? That was. What was the timing of that? That was terrible. That didn't even make sense.
Ah? Are you?
No, we needed a longer clip of the shot. Just a little longer, like 1 second longer, so you can see the recoil and stuff. I didn't even have enough time for my brain to register the shot, and then the sound effect was going on into the next shot. Like, what is going on here? And also, why didn't we get any like reaction of the dude who shot her? This guy. Why didn't we get, even if it was in cold blood, and even if he didn't seem to care or have any emotion, that would have been useful to see. Although that's more of the, again, what's funny is that this is more of an issue of AI director Dave Clark than the AI. Yeah, guys, what was that? Like why is the car going straight but then it's jutting out the side like that? But again, just AI physics. I'm trying to see. Okay, here's something. These lights are going straight, correct? But the AI thinks that the light should still be in the center of the road. Of course, that's not how car lights work. When you're going around a curve, your lights are actually facing right off the road, right? Unless you have a really fancy car. So the AI generated that the light is not going straight from the car here, which is pretty annoying to look at. As for the darks here and the lights here, I don't know if the sun is shining through or what. But I'm not gonna lie, like I think the shadows look roughly consistent. If you're looking at it quickly. I mean, besides the AI itself, compositionally it wasn't bad. And the lights weren't bad if you're squinting and you don't focus on the fact that none of it makes any sense. All right, wait a minute. I would have moved the camera down just a smidge, just a tiny bit here. Although, I may not have to. I think when he put the bag down, maybe move the camera down a little bit. So see. Pan down a little bit. Just like that. Okay, that made no sense. He just threw a gun. Okay, filmmakers, I think we're okay for now. Give it like a year, I guess. Let's check back in a year, because this guy just... Wait. He's just... Again, the actors. What's going on? Who throws like this? Like what? And the gun is just... floating. What? All right. Okay, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. All right, let's say this should be a slow motion shot, okay? All right, this is meant to be slow motion. Let's just imagine, right? Hey, dude, I still can't see the gun in slow motion. This would have needed to be better lit. Listen, the lighting makes sense for... The lighting might make sense for up here. Maybe. Sure. But right here, it should have transitioned into CGI, and it should have just been a VFX shot of, like, let's imagine the water's below. You got a spinning camera angle going down, or just a camera angle that's going down. It's following the gun, and the gun's like, flipping all around in slow motion. And maybe you could even get a shot where you're looking up at the gun falling by you, and it's zooming into the guy in the black mask. I don't know what to call him. The protagonist, I guess. Zooming into his face, looking down, showing some type of emotion that would advance the narrative, because ultimately there should be a reason for having any of these shots, which I think that's the biggest problem. All this stuff looks good generally, but there were not any reasons to shoot it the way it was shot. Nothing was done with intent to progress the narrative in some way. all of this just looks like generic stuff. It looks soulless because in real filmmaking, every shot is thought of heavily. Now, could you do this with AI? Yes, but you are missing some aspects of the craft by not doing it in person and by none of it being real. And also, you do not have the level of control that you wish. Maybe someday you might, but it's just not going to be the same level of control. Another thing that makes films great is that sometimes something happens that is not expected, or they didn't even think it would happen, and then it ends up being better than what they originally planned. For example, when they were shooting Rocky, and they didn't have the budget to build a set, they just shot in public, and he's running down the street, and some guy throws him an orange. That was never meant to happen, but it actually worked in the favor of the film, and they kept it anyways. So that's what filmmaking's about, and I just think manual VFX, until AI can be tweaked in every possible way, which I don't see how that would happen. I think you would still need some type of traditional computer architecture to make that happen, because AI is not something that does have that level of control and ability to tweak. And that's because the nature of AI is a machine learning algorithm. And an algorithm, there's a reason that they often call them black boxes, because sometimes, actually often, even the people that make the algorithms don't understand how they work. So that's something that's kind of scary about AI, if you're prone to fear, like I am. But what's actually scary is that, the people that make AI don't actually know how AI works in a way. There's no human that can conceptualize every weight and balance that went into the output of the AI. So there's truly no person that understands every little thing that went into making that thing happen. Whereas if you look at Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, there is a team of people, or even one person, who can tell you every single thing that went into building Smeagol, and every single thing that went into every aspect of his character on the screen. So, I mean, does that mean that AI is threatening? No, but it just makes it kind of disturbing that you don't have any control over that. It is, and also it makes it less of an artistic craft, if you ask me, because at the end of the day, the people that built Smeagol or some character or did some type of VFX shot, they truly built all of that from the ground up. Yeah, maybe in the recent years there have been a couple of automated tools, things that might help you rotoscope and it's stuff like that. But at the end of the day, those people built all of that in a contained, closed system that gave every single output they wanted. And that is true artistry, if you ask me. So yeah, long story short, there should have been a gunshot. Because this, I mean, I guess the lighting has stayed consistent, because the lighting, when the gun fell into the shadow, it disappeared. But at the same time, that looks terrible. This looks kind of realistic. I think that wasn't great because, so as you can see, the gun falls faster than the camera pans. And I think in a good shot, the camera would have panned with the gun. Because that just looks like now the camera's catching up with the gun. I don't personally like that. And okay, so yes, that was a good film, but that was a good film for a deaf person. Because, no offense to deaf people, I'm not making fun of you, but actually, never mind, deaf people can read captions. Okay, that was a good film for nobody, because there was no story. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what the point of this film was. All I saw was a man, let's see, he was driving. He showed up to a house. He killed. This is so funny how basic this is. So he kills one guy with very basic dialogue. I forgot what the guy said, but we really didn't learn much, did we? And then he kills the house cleaner for no apparent reason, or the maid. And then he puts he puts them in the garbage, their bodies in the garbage, and then he throws his gun away. I guess good story about murdering people. So, I don't know. All I know is watching this type of content definitely has a toll on my brain. It's just like it almost feels like I'm having a stroke when I watch this stuff sometimes, because it's like, what am I watching? Like the physics don't make sense, and I just feel like it's damaging to my brain. Because remember that your brain is a algorithm, and your brain has its own algorithms, right? And when you input terrible training data into your brain, for example, if you were to just watch AI videos for weeks on end, you're going to start thinking different physics are normal, and you're going to start thinking that different things look the way that you think they look. For example, I think if you grew up only being able to watch media that was AI, you'd begin to dream like that. And secondly, you wouldn't be able to draw well because you wouldn't have good training data in your brain of what accurate things of what you're supposed to draw are. So even if you're very talented, I think the best that you could draw is probably some AI garbage. Anyways, that's a topic for another film. I'm gonna say this. Overall, I'm somewhat impressed visually. Um, I'm not impressed with the acting at all. I'm not impressed with the sound, although I'm somewhat impressed. And of course, I'm not impressed with the AI flaws. Some of the compositions that were generated by the AI were not good. And we talked about those. And the fluid physics are bad, and the physics in general are also bad. So that's my takeaway. And I hope you guys have a good day. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to record the thumbnail real quick. Okay, goodbye.